presidency of the United States down to the local constitutional officers. And all of that happens with a team of five of us. It's five of us that serve as, I would say, judge and jury of what is right and what is wrong about the process, what needs to get a little input from our lawyer, because we are lawyered up from the Attorney General's office. I carry with me the telephone number that I can reach my representative, my attorney, if necessary, if I'm in any way challenged with my capacity in that role of vice chair. There are only five members of the State Board of Elections, and the way it's made up, you're appointed by the governor, but you have to then be certified, if you will, by the General Assembly. They're the last word. The governor can say, I want these people, but the General Assembly, both the House and the Senate, has to agree on your appointment, or you get removed from the list, and then they vote on you separately to oust you off that list. So you function at the pleasure going in. The governor who makes the assignments, and he also assigns the chair and the vice chair. And so, and the chair is always of the party, whatever the governor is. If the governor is a Democratic governor, then the chair would be a Democrat. If the governor is a Republican governor, then the chair would be a Republican. And then he can decide the second person. And he decided on me. He thought I'd be a good fix. And actually, the first term I served was to fill a vacant position. So it was nothing to lose, and I had to think about it, whether I even wanted to do this, because I'm in a retired state and I'm enjoying that retirement. I'm traveling. They found me in Vegas when they told me about it. My daughter lives there, and I have my own little space, the Granby Suite, and it's 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. in the morning there, and somebody's calling me, but I realized in Virginia it's 9 a.m. And this lady, Secretary Keiko James, because she was in charge of the appointments at that time. That was her job for all of the appointees and make the referrals to the governor. And she told me that she saw I had a little gig that might fall within my wheelhouse that I might be interested in. And this is what she was talking about, that I want to do this. So let me talk to you when I get back to Virginia. My first thought was, no, thank you very much. But when I called really to think about it, to say, I want to thank, they said, well, the governor has already approved your appointment, and he would like you to serve as the vice chair. So I do the best I can. So I did that turn, and now I am, that was 2 years, and then now I'm on he reappointed me. Now he goes out, at the end of the time, whatever, the way our system is, governors run for one term and they leave. But he appointed me to a position that now I will be working on the other side. Who knows? I could be the vice chair after it's all over. The next election happens in November. Coordinating wins. I could be in the vice or the chair's position, or in no position, because you function at the pleasure of who's in the leadership. And I am honored to serve while I'm there and try to do the best job I can. Now, to tell you a little bit about it, all I'm going to do is read this little split of the basics, and then I'm going to just freewheel it, and y'all can ask me questions. The State Board of Elections is authorized to supervise, coordinate, and adopt regulations governing the work of local electoral boards, registrars, and officers of election, to provide an electronic application for voter registration and delivery of absentee ballots to eligible military and overseas voters. We won't get you wherever you are in the world. If you're a Virginian, we want that vote. We are responsible to establish and maintain a statewide automated voter registration system to include procedures for ascertaining current addresses of registrants, to prescribe standard forms for registration, for transfer and identification of voters, all that information we're required to oversee that, and to require cancellation of records for registrants no longer qualified to serve. We work under the Code of Virginia, Title 24.2, Chapters 1, 4, and 4.1. The Department of Elections conducts the board's administrative and programmatic operations and discharges the board's duties consistent with delegated authority. our authority first comes from the Virginia General Assembly. Because I know a little bit about that because I was a lawmaker. And as lawmakers, all of those um, the bills that must be passed, and there's a special committee for elections that deals with not only elections but how the state might be parceled out, if you will, into electoral districts. That used to be a committee that I served on, but now I'm on the other side of are they doing everything right to ensure we have a sound election process? Every 4 years is interesting, only every 4 years. When there isn't a presidential election, the five of us are responsible for overseeing what happens in all the localities around the state of Virginia and how the information comes in. And we're the last word to certify that everybody, because it's only not just the presidency that's on the ballot, from the local all the way up to the congressmen, the senators, everybody. We have to make sure that everybody has cleared the bar, and then we can get trouble with our wrists because we have to hand sign, no electronic stuff. We hand sign two sets of documents for the winners. One for the person himself, whoever it is, the candidate that gets a copy of it, and the other one is for the records. And it's going to be kept as archives for later on, and that's where you get the history of Virginia, who won this election, who did not win this election, or whatever. But those are all the basic responsibilities we have to certify every election. If there are monetary problems where people say they didn't have the money right, funny money, and how did they violate in their financial, then we're the judge and jury to look at this. But the key was, I said, administrative staff. But that there's a commissioner and there's a whole crew of staff. It's one of the best IT staff going. You have to make sure that the voter, those electronic records, and everything is up to par. But we are the ones that, so like you have a board of directors, and they bring this information. There's reports to us, tell us what we want. We have a chance to examine it. We got our legal team there, and ultimately we signed that this is a policy that they're going to follow, and that it's going to go down from the state level to the registrars, the electoral boards at the local level to say this is what we are expected to do. We oversee training for all these people because around the state to make sure that they are aware of of the law changes, the policy changes, so they can't play dumb. I didn't know that was there. And that's and we get those technical things that come to us where the citizen can complain, and if it comes up the channel and it gets to us, then staff has done their reports and whatever, and then we decide yay, nay. Again, we have two attorneys from the Attorney General's office that are with us to make sure we're doing the right code, laws, and all that stuff to make sure that everything is an okay deal. It seems complicated, and it is because people are concerned about all the people that on election day, that may be the work that they do, and they're just making sure the process is there, but it's what gets you to election day. The yard signs, all the different things that people are concerned with. We got a committee, and that's part of our job, and we meet monthly to go over all of this information to see if it's intact and to sign off on it. And when you said election this year, in Virginia's election every year. Every year. We're unique like that. Is that great? Every year there's an election. And when the election is going on, primaries or whatever around the state, that means we go to work early and we come at breakfast time and we leave after the polls close. You got me? So I always go prepared with whatever I think I'm gonna need, snacks, shoes, whatever, to make myself comfortable because it's gonna be a long day. We gavel ourselves in because now we are now officially working. And then we can go about, and they sequester us. We got to be sequestered, so it's five of us. So we can't be sharing information. We can't be the Democrats in this little corner and the Republicans over here, and we're thinking we can do something or vote on something that is not going to be for the good of the Commonwealth. So it keeps us honest, and it keeps people from saying, well, I know they did this, that, and the other. It takes, in some cases, a lot of cases, the uniqueness of it is 3 votes won't do it. It's only 5 members, so it's going to be 3. If it's 3 of one party, the dominant party, whoever the governor is, he will get 3 votes. and then the other party will get two. So you would think, well, that's a done deal. Not so, because of most of the bills requires a majority. In order to get that super majority, sometimes it's going to be one that's like majority members. Very seldom is going to be anything of merit. It's going to require a super. You're going to at least get one of those other two from the other side to go with you or not. Preference is that there are five of us, and five of us should be voting for what's right for Virginia. No brag, just fact. We vote like that majority of the time. And normally, if it's off votes, it's probably one of either side that's an off vote. But majority of the time, you're going to find us trying to do what's best for Virginians. And I like to say it's because of the fact of the makeup of our committee. Because on this board is unique. You're going to appreciate this, Alan. We have five members, right? The chair just happened to be a doctor first. He was also a member of the House with me. We served in the House of Delegates together. He's retired like me, but doctor first. Vice Chair Mickenwall, my profession was a registered nurse. So, in our professions, we always work with, we don't ask our patients, are you a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, or whatever on the side. We just want to know what is it that we can do to make it a little bit better for you, okay? So that's how we govern. And we knew each other in the house, so we have a wonderful time. Sometimes his wife will come and save us because it was a long walk from where we are to where we go get our cars. And we're so seasoned and young. We give her a call and she'll come pick us up and take us. So we got our own built-in driver. So that's how we work it. And that might be, we used to say the blue and the red, but no, no, no. We're just trying to do the work we've been assigned to do. But now the other three members, how about one more of those other members just happens to be a doctor? How about that? Is that crazy? So now we got two doctors. The other one, the secretary, just happens to be a nurse. So we only got five members, right? But now here's how we hang it all together. The fifth member is a lawyer. So we got somebody gonna say, hold on, wait a minute. I don't know about that. We always got our attorneys, the two attorneys from the Attorney General's office that's there supposed to be to find that information for us quickly to make sure we're on the right path. But among our group, we have a lawyer as well. But isn't that interesting? Two doctors, two nurses, and a lawyer. So, but that's how we work. And when we are voting, because we have to have hearings, when the localities say somebody, the elector, on the electoral, the local electoral board is not doing something right, or the registrar needs some correction or whatever, and we want to fire him or whatever, there's a process to take them all the way to the courts, and they can appeal all the way up. But it starts with us. Can we handle this? If we feel like we can handle it, they can always appeal it, or we can ourselves decide, oh no, this one is too hot for us to handle. We refer it to the courts, let them work with it. Because ultimately, in Virginia, we try to do things right. Now, I've said every 4 years we have the presidential election. And you know that is, when you talk about the electoral college, that's real important because every other position that you run for is majority rules. When it comes to the electoral college, you might have the majority, but you're not going to win because it's the makeup of the electoral college and how many positions do you get. Like you get a percentage and divide the whole country up and you get a percentage of the whole, like 370, I think it's 370 votes, something altogether, 370, 390, I'm not getting it right. But of that, everybody is divided up in the large areas, they get bigger numbers. So people say, yeah, it's not fair, but that's right. And the optics and a lot of the people that put it in place, a lot of people that want to change it, but then again, they realize if I do this, then I lose that. So you never can get consensus. So if you got consensus, laws can be changed, they can be modified, whatever. But that's why we have the electoral college. But the process then is first you're dealing with the majority vote, the popular vote, We register that, but it's the electoral college that is the factor that we say this determines who is going to be Virginia's candidate for president. Whether that person wins it nationally or not, for Virginia, that person will get our votes. And that's the electoral college that is brought together only for this alignment. Like if you have the two major parties do that. One party is going to have their candidates like Virginia's got 13. Well, here's our 13. If we win, let's say if the red wins, here's our 13. We got them all lined up. Because you don't mess it up. It's not us and them. If the blue win, we got 13. And this is how it's going to be lined up. But then those are the people that will come. I'm just basing it that's our number of votes that we have, positions that we have, then that number determines who's going to win or lose in Virginia, not the thousands of people that voted. You understand? But that's the way the process works, only for the presidency. And after that, once we get that's decided and we have the number of who wins, then that electoral college has to form just like an inauguration process. The governor is a part of it, it's pomp and circumstance. But us five folks, we in charge of this stuff. Pretty much the commissioner does all the work. But it's like, but that's our title. You always got somebody that's doing all the good work. And so we meet on the house side, on the chambers, and we run it. You got to do the pledge of allegiance, all the formality of an inauguration. And then those people vote. And once we go through all of this, then it's a whole long day again, because now the five of us have to certify this information. And the governor does his thing. We have to get all those things on, and we're the last word. And then we send it to the president of the Senate. So in that last presidential election in Virginia, Kamala Harris won. So from Virginia, that's the information that was going to Washington to say, here's who's Virginia's winner. And we had to send it to the president of the Senate, who was then Kamala, and was her responsibility for ensuring that Virginia had their credit, and she has to do it for all the people. She actually lost, but her job required her to make sure that they certified what came from all of the states. And so history will show that we were there and we were the ones that conducted this stuff. The Electoral College, I didn't realize it was such a big deal until I got in it, because it's like, oh yeah, but it's a very, very important area. Because for the presidency, 13 people will be the voting for the state of Virginia. Other than that, everybody's in. But I could, that's the gist of it. Oh, we get to decide how you're going to be on the ballot. Me and the chair, he's got this deal. He's in charge of who will pull the name out. So we got this little capsule. You take that out of the crystal bowl we sat and decide who's going to be first. If it's going to be Democrat or if it's going to be Republican, if it's going to be independent. Who's going to be first on that ballot that you get to vote on? And he just keeps throwing it on me. So luck of the draw, I pulled out the first ballot and put Kamala as the top of the ballot for that one. And then we got another one coming in November. And I pulled out again. So it's like, and that's how it is. It's like not somebody trying to in some dark room trying to do it. It's all public. The cameras are there and they're watching us. And it's like, oh, you put me in this terrible spot, because he's in the number one spot. And that's his role, to appoint who's going to do it. Then he can appoint somebody else to pull out who's going to be the vice or who's going to be the this and the other. But he determines the order, so the chair does that. But that's a lot of responsibility, because people said, how did this one get there? How come this is there and not that? It's not that, in order, they laugh at me sometimes because I pulled out and it was Republican. I said, see what you did to me? But that's the way it is. And I'll tell you, I'm a Democrat, and that's why it's not Democrat or Republican. The five of us try to do objectively what we are required to do. So even though I'm of one party, I've been appointed twice by somebody of the other party. And it's fun, you're like, may my work speak for me, is how I've dealt with, not just now, but what I did on the other side as an elected official. Now that credibility or that performance gives them the strength that I've always had to deal with people. Sometimes my own side didn't like what I was doing, but I tried to do what was right, and I stuck with it, and so I could justify it. Now, you might not like it, but I'm going to tell you why I did it. and then we move on. So if there's any questions you have related to that place we work, where they give us nice digs when we're in office. I got a nice view. I might show you one day when I'm actually working when they separate us. Because during the election, that's one more little tidbit. When we were in that presidential election, then we have our own state police that are assigned to us that escort us from where we park. And I can't tell you where we park because it's all confidential and it's to protect us. But where we park, then we have our guys and all that take us. We have bathrooms assigned. We have a huge room that we're going to work with all the cameras that we work for the whole day. Because now we got state police, we got federal police, we got everybody overseeing what happens. Because the five of us got to be protected. Because the five of us got to sign off at the end who the winner is for Virginia. So I've learned about there are tunnels that will take you from one spot to the other, and they're like in disasters or whatever, recovered. It's a good thing. I just finished the training and found out the magnitude of what we do and how hard it is to keep things safe. That we did at the state police headquarters, Midlothian, where was the state police headquarters? We went there for training on cybersecurity because I was amazed when they said how many times, with AI and everything, they have get hits where they have to protect the system around the country, that security. How many times do you think that there's an intervention across the states when they give their information that they've had to protect our voting system? Just throw out a number. How many you think?
Millions.
How about billions? I was surprised too. I said, man, you were saying billions? Billions. It's just that sophisticated. But staff had to know, they have to know, when they answer a phone, they got to know if they answer an email, you don't do this, you got to do that, because this is how people can pick up. But we train staff, and that's what was going on. Whole day, I was there to oversee, but it was a learning curve for me again, to understand the sensitivity of what we do, to protect the vote, to protect your vote. So that's what I get to do with this little gig that I have on the side. So if you have any questions, you can ask me, but that's, yes.
I, I'm curious, when you all have to vote on things as a board,
Uh-huh.
are the votes generally divided on party lines, or do you get a lot of unanimous votes?
You get, I said, majority of the time, because we get to ask questions, we got our attorneys right there with us. And when we get our package of information or something, it's sent to us, they deliver it to us if they have time. It's always going to be electronic so we can review it ahead of time to ask the questions because you have to be on point because we like to move it. We like to get it done. So when we get there, it's point on, we already know what this is and we might ask for some more clarity. But then it's point out the majority of the time, I would say, let me give you about 97% of the time, it's just like that, because it's the right thing to do. But then there may be some inquiries where we got to do this or that, and then somebody might, say, I don't want this or that. And sometimes it's really cute. How about the red might be supporting something that the blue is not interested in, but it carries the day because it got enough red votes, or the blue is now supportive of what somebody on the red side is asked for. This is like people are complaints and they want something, and we agree that they need to have their justice as they see it. And we laugh about it, but I can tell you from the first time and the second go round, I don't, I don't have a problem with anybody, and I can't think of a time that we've not laughed about it or said, okay, wait a minute, so and so and so. Oh, I'll be on it with my, because I had the lawyer on my side. Well, I still got the lawyer on my side. Come to think of it, so now you know what we got on our side. But it's like if I disagree, I'm gonna say it, and he might go one way and I'll go the other way. So, but it's again being able to justify why you take that you can point to your point of reference better be the state code, what people, those lawmakers put in place, the governor signed off on it, because they can always veto him too. It might be something he wanted. If he didn't want it, they'll override his veto. And so the main base starts with, and that's why we have a separation, of government so that we can have a fair, as much as possible, system working for us. But no, most time we're just two doctors, two nurses, one lawyer. What you think? We have fun. Doing what? The work of the Commonwealth.
Any other questions?
I had no idea. I'm so glad that you came today.
Yeah,
Oh.
thank you so much.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed people this okay.
In honor of our Rotary Club, we want to give you a Rotary pen. Thank you so much, Rosalyn, for coming out.
Thank
So
you.
Thank
I
you.
used to have one of these, man. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you.